Good evening from the Titan Bros. It has been a hot minute since we went live. In fact, it's been so long since we went live. It was exactly a month ago. It was March the 8th. We were getting excited and getting ready for a little free agency action. And now here it is April 8th, exactly 1 month later. We want to talk about free agency. We might talk about the draft. Probably won't because we want to have a video probably the week of the draft to kind of dive into our thoughts there. But today, our main point, we're going to recap this busy free agency that we kind of just did. So, hello, Josiah. Welcome in. We're going to have a great show.
Howdy, how are you, so? It's been a while since we made one of these.
It's been a hot minute.
But I would say the thing about the off season is it has been a while, but in all honesty, it's not like we are so behind in content in the sense that today we want to talk about the free agency and then we'll basically caught up.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, if we were hardcore grinders, we could have kept pounding stuff out every week. But at the same time, you don't want to just repeat the same things everybody else is saying or just beat a dead horse or oversaturate a subject. So I think we're fine. I know this is a little late, but sometimes it's better to wait and have recaps on things not immediately after, because a lot of times when you recap on something immediately after, you kind of have a little bit too emotional of a take on things, whether it's good or bad. You know what I'm saying? So now that we went hog wild in free agency and everything's kind of simmered down a bit, it's time to talk. Our reaction. The first thing I'll say to get things going, and you tell me if this is confusing to you as well. I knew that we weren't going to bring in all the biggest names. Like a lot of people, Titan reporters included, especially, were kind of telling us temporary expectations. Like Titans, they have to spend a certain amount of money, but they are not going to be, making headlines all over the NFL during free agency. And every single time Mike Borgonzi got behind a microphone, he would just say, the correct way to build a football team is to build through the draft. You supplement with free agency, but draft is where you get your players. Like, that's what he said. He says every single time he can get in front of a mic, they'll say, hey, Mike, how's your day? We got to supplement with free agency, but it's the draft. The draft's where we build a team. Like, every single time. And then he just starts signing people. And I think and then anybody who says otherwise, we're lying. It caught the Titans world on fire. Caught them on fire? I mean, sure. Caught them off guard. Set the world on fire.
Can I be glad, surprisingly negative about that? In the sense that, to start off with, I agree. Like, I thought we had a good free agency. But if I wanted to be a downer, I'll say that. If I want to be a downer, what scales me is Amy Adams already overstepping things and making Borgonzi doing something that's not his way of doing things. And maybe not. There's no evidence to that except for the fact that Borgonzi, that's not really his way of doing things.
Right. Here's what I will say about things. I'm okay with the moves. These were all three. There's a couple 4-year deals, I believe. But for the most part, they were just 3-year deals. So by the time that we need money to extend the people we need to extend, these deals will be over. Like, these players will be gone. So for me personally, I liked it. Does it kind of almost in a way look like 2024 all over again? Maybe. But I feel like we got smarter players. Like, we gave way too much money to Kenneth Murray. L'Jarius Sneed was a huge risk. Everybody knew that. He had his whatever knee going on. So giving up
most people, including me, was excited to have him.
Yeah, I was.
Did not work out.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I was excited too, but it was very risky to get someone with a knee concern that he didn't know anything about. Yeah. Then, of course, you get the legal trouble stuff going on as well. It just become awful, really. That said, I think we went for much safer options this time, in my humble opinion. We're going to break down some of these, but go ahead.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying, I like this crop of free agency. There's really not many at all players. I'm like, I don't like that. Now, then you can start talking about the contract itself, too much pay, stuff like that. But when it comes to just players, there's not really anybody like, oh, that's a bad player. Like, Kenneth Murray was a bad player.
Yeah, the fact that he somehow got a multi-year, almost double digits a year money contract was insane.
Yeah. So anyway, I like the players we brought in, And a sneaky good one, and actually, I'll get to this later. I guess later, but I have
Yeah.
one that might surprise you, like that I think is a sneaky good one. But go ahead.
I was gonna say we're not going to talk about tight end Kylan Granson, offensive tackle Austin Deculus. I guess that's how you pronounce it. I also don't even want to talk about Austin Schlotman or Cordell Volson because I really hope they're not starters. If they're starters, we'll talk about them before the season starts. I don't really want to talk about defensive end Malik Herring. Don't even really know who that is hardly. Jacob Martin, linebacker Mohamed Diabate. Don't care about him either. Safety Tony Adams, safety Jarek Reed the second. Those folk, I don't really care about. We're not going to talk about them. Then that's not really the point of this video. Those should be either not even making the roster or depth pieces if everything goes well. So we're going to start off. We'll take turns since I've kind of been hogging camera time. The first person we're going to talk about, wide receiver Wandale Moore. He may have been the only 4-year deal we did. It was 4 years, $17 million a year, but incentives can get him up to $19 million a year. So I'm a person, I love incentives and contracts because to me, if they don't make it, great, we pay them less. If they make it, that means they're producing.
Yes, to be honest, I almost sometimes wish more contracts had that.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, go ahead, fire away. What do you think about the Wandale Robinson contract? Or not contract, just contract him as a player, just all.
I liked it. I think you can debate about money, but receivers get paid a decent bit now. It's just how it is. And like I know you and I talked about this. Alex Pills.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lot of money, and I wanted him. But
almost $30 million, right? Like 28.
That was a lot. Yes, that was a lot of money. So and he's good, but I don't think anyone will say he's number one. So we're still lacking a number one because I think Calvin Ridley is more of a number two than a one. So we're still lacking a one. But I think he's, to be honest, I think at the moment, you can tell me if you agree, I think he's our second best receiver right now.
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah.
Because Calvin Ridley has 3 years with 1,000 yards with 3 different teams.
Yeah.
He has one that he just got to. Now, that said, his career is kind of on that. Calvin Ridley's on that.
Who knows? Maybe this year he might take another step because last year was better than the year before.
Mm-hmm.
So there's potential. He's still young enough to have potential. If that makes sense, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think he's like super young. He's only 24 or 25.
I think 25.
Yeah.
And so yes,
it's like even if he were to do the whole 4 years for us, he's still 29 years old after his second contract.
Yeah, and I kind of admit though, the only thing I say, and it's a small thing, and actually this is kind of could be a draft talk though at the same time. I'm not sure what I want to do with a receiver because I think we have enough, it's okay receivers in the sense DK's that he's okay. Like he's okay. Robinson, he hopefully he's a little bit better than just he's okay. Cam Lilly, he's okay. If we was gonna address receiver in the draft, I would like it to be a bona fide number one receiver, but we're not picking a receiver, I don't think, in the first round. So he would be a second round, third round, fourth round. I'm like, do I really want to throw another name in that? So I'm kind of curious what we'll do with receiver in the draft because I think really what that room needs now is just a good bona fide number one, which we don't have.
Yeah. I remember hearing somebody saying, I remember who it was because I was thinking the same thing. Unless we go Carnell Tate 4 overall, which is probably pretty unlikely.
Yeah.
And we'll be waiting at the earliest pick 35, which at pick 35, you're getting probably a nice wide receiver 2. So if we were to do that, it's like how many wide receiver 2s does it make to make a wide receiver 1?
Exactly.
It's like the number one guy who's going against their number one corner is going to be just shut down all day. The number 2 receiver of our number 2 guy, 3 number 2s, is going to have a nice matchup. But then our third wide receiver, who's another number 2 going against their number 3 corner, he might be the one who gets to feast all day.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I don't know.
I think that's been kind of what the Packers have been doing. They've had a bunch like that.
Packers and Colts. Because Michael Pittman Jr. would be the number 2 receiver on a lot of teams. But he's a high-end wide receiver, too. So they have him and Alex Pierce, and they kind of had the T.Y. Hilton some years ago. So, they just kept on drafting wide receivers in the second round. And they just have a bunch of number 2 and 3 wide receivers. But they're deep, but they don't have a high ceiling. So it's an interesting approach. And I do agree the Packers do the same thing.
Anyway, I kind of went along with that, but anyway, that's just my opinion.
I mean, he was our
Overall,
biggest deal.
he's I'm not upset with it. I'll say that.
No, I think it was the right thing. It was a good move. And one thing that makes me like it better, I would be very on the move if we signed him, cut Ridley. I'm like, we just kind of did nothing, you know? You know what I'm saying? But
Well, and I
keeping
actually
Ridley,
thought that's what he was gonna do.
I agree. But keeping Ridley and giving him like a 10 million cut, I think they said he's only making 14 million announced of like 26 or 24 or something. So he took a big old fat old paycheck. Because if he's only making 14 million a year for this year, probably getting cut after the season. But if he makes 14 million and he gets only like 800 yards, that's a solid contract in my opinion. Get a nice savvy veteran wide receiver. 14 million, 800 yards. I like it.
Yeah, see, I like you said, the move better with us keeping us actually Calvin Ridley. But
Yeah.
What's your opinion?
I like it. I think it was a good one. It was the biggest deal we signed. It was the only 4-year deal, I believe, that we signed. I think it was good. I think it was smart. This guy's going to be reliable. He's going to be able to get open quick. For Cam Ward, and that's something we need because we didn't have any quick, get open quickers. How do you say that? People that get open quick. We didn't have any of those quickers. We didn't have any quickers on our team last year. I don't know if it's a term, but I just made it one. No quickers. We got a quicker now. So I like it. I'm not going to expound humongously on it. I think it's really good. Again, another good number 2 option, a wide receiver. We still need our dog. I think that has to happen in 2027, and there's no way we can really get it this year. That can be a conversation we have when draft time comes around. Okay. The next dude we'll talk about, and I'll go ahead and lead the charge on this one. We got tight end Daniel Bellinger on a 3-year deal, 24 million-ish a year. This one, I'm just like milquetoast. I'm lukewarm on it. I'm like, it makes sense. He's a better blocker than a Gunnar Helm. We paid a decent amount, but not too much, and I'm sure it's one of those contracts we can easily get out of if we need to. The thing I like about him, kind of like I said, I like the Wan'Dale thing better because we kept and cut the pay of Calvin Ridley. The thing I like about him is with that and letting Chig walk, it means it's the Gunnar Helm show as far as the tight ends are concerned.
Yeah. And
I like that. I like that a lot. And not just that, bringing this guy over from Dable's offense.
That's good.
And the Giants, that he's going to be able to teach not just Gunnar Helm, but the rest of the team, the system. So
yeah, now I think about it, Daboll, he's got 2 weapons that he brought back from New York, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But to be honest, he's one of one of the moves I liked a sneaky amount, because he's a blocking tight end, but he can catch fine. Like I think he's a pretty decent duel at that. I think he's going to be a good number 2 because, like you said, it's Gunnar Helm's show. But I actually really think he is like a lot of times when you get a blocking tight end, that's all they do. You know, think about the people we've had. That's it. But I think he can be more than that, and I actually really kind of think that's a good 1-2 punch.
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely
think he's just somebody gave him the ball. Like I was watching some stuff he did last year with Jackson Dalton, and he looked pretty good.
Yeah, for me, it was one of those situations where I liked Chig a lot. Chig was always my boy. I thought he was good value in the 4th round where we got him. I also really liked Gunnar, but I was like, even though they play differently, I'm like, they're both receiving option tight ends is what they are.
Yeah.
And having them both was just a redundancy, and I'm sure you've heard the stats all off season long. I liked Chig, but he was graded the worst blocker at tight end in the entire NFL.
Yes.
So it's one of those situations where it's just like, yeah, and Chig just expired, and we still got 3 years of Gunnar. It was the right move to let Chig walk and let Gunnar be the guy. So that's basically what my take is on the whole Daniel Bellinger, is just the fact that now we have our blocker, but it's Gunnar Helm time. Mm-hmm. All right, this one will be quick, and you lead the charge on this one. We got Mitchell Trubisky, 2 years, $10.5 million.
It's funny. I was just at work today thinking, like, wait, who's the backup quarterback we got? That's who it was, Mitchell Trubisky. It's fine. I just hope he never sees the field. He's all right, I guess. Like he's better than Brandon Allen. Was that who we had last year?
Yeah, he was awful.
He's better than that. Remember how bad he was that last game? Holy crap!
Made that game unwatchable.
Yeah, like Trubisky's better than that. He's not great. I say he's a mediocre backup quarterback. Maybe a tad bit better if he wants to use his legs. But as he's getting older, he's using them less and less. But he's okay.
Yeah, I think it's a fine. He's in my opinion, he's just a league average backup. You could do worse. Last year was one of those years. Brandon Allen was disgusting. I think I like it more than anything is he will be able to do good against backups in
preseason.
So because again, Brandon Allen and especially Tim Boyle was disgusting.
Yes.
Because I remember Tim DK played almost the entire games in the preseason, but he would never get thrown to or get thrown catchable passes. Because I'm like trying to figure out this fourth round wide receiver who was one pick away from being a third round pick. I'm like, I want to see what this guy is about. Everybody's talking up Elagayo Manor. I really want to see my boy Xavier Restrepo, but it doesn't matter because Brandon Allen and especially Tim Boyle were so bad. You didn't even get to see him even have a chance.
Yeah, he was so bad. Yeah. I got Allen did okay in preseason.
Yeah,
like he was enough to do some drives. Tim Boyle was garbage.
I ended up cutting him
because that's how bad he was. Because when he was down, not to really play, he was down to be a good,
quarterback, and he was good in Cam's ear.
But he was so trash. Like, get him out of here.
Get him out of here. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Again, we're probably going to end up talking about Austin Schlottman more than we want because the chance he ends up having to be our center. I hope not. We'll see about that. But that's basically all of our big offensive names. Time to slide over to the defense. Headlining that, defensive tackle John Franklin Myers, 3 years, $63 million. So it's easy math would say $21 million a year. Kind of rich for my blood, but at the same time, it's one of those situations where a year and a half, 2 years in, we can cut him if we need to, and it'll all be good.
Is my opinion is. It's a little, a good bit of money, but I just think him and Jeffrey Simmons together could be, and I'm sure maybe someone's going to be something else, the best two right up the middle. Good luck on running up the middle. Also, good luck on you can't double both of them. And this is what we do. Like, I want Love more than Bailey. This might be another video, but if you do have Bailey and Simmons and what's this guy's name?
John Franklin Myers.
Thank you. Yes, Miles. If you have, I'm like, well, you can't double all these guys.
I'm just like Jermaine Johnson. He'll be single team every play.
Yeah. So I'm still thinking, man, this sounds really good here. And then obviously, as much as I don't want him, we have Saleh who can really. Saleh last year was making a team of backups of the backups look decent defense. So if he has something to work with, our defense could be really good. I like it a lot. Just to pair him because. When we had Casey, I'm like, we just need to pair him with another person. Never could do it until Simmons come in, but then Casey was not Casey anymore. And then with Simmons, we need to find someone to pair him. We finally, I think, we have to see it play out, have somebody to go alongside Jeffrey Simmons.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think Simmons is a little bit better, but some people's opinion might say Miles is better. Like, that's how good Miles is. Like, I think
if
Miles
Simmons didn't have the season he had last year, people would say Franklin Myers is as good.
Yes, exactly.
At least on the level,
Would it be safe to say, maybe I'm being over dramatic here, that we might have two of the best interior defense alignment, top 5, top 6? Yes, that's pretty good.
Definitely 2 of the top 10. There's no way you're gonna say it's not both of them top 10.
So that's pretty good.
Which is why I don't want us to go edge 4th overall, which is again another video. But as a positive Polly that I am, if we do.
Yes, that defense. To be honest,
could be nice.
We'll talk about it in a second with our new secondary help. If we did get a Bailey to go with Miles and Simmons, I'm like, and then we have Saleh. I'm like, wait, our defense could be just like that overnight, a really good defense. But then I'm scared that we're going to be that classic Saleh team, great defense, offense not so good. But we'll worry about that when we get there. But I'm just like, already the defense is shaping up pretty good. But anyway, go ahead.
So I like the signing. No other way to say it besides I like it.
To be honest, he might be my favorite signing.
He could be. It made too much sense. Plus, just like Bellinger and Robinson can kind of teach the game plan, these people can also teach the game plan as well on defense. So anyways, that said, let's go ahead and talk about the guys that we touched on a little bit. Actually, we don't have to. Jermaine Johnson, you already said you're kind of meh on. To me, I'd say it's a kind of a slight upgrade. I think he's a more established pass rusher than Devondre Sweat is a nose tackle, but
Something that's such a question mark, not free agent, but such a question mark. I have no idea what to think of him. I still will say it's a swing and a miss, I think, by Mr. Bergonzi.
Borgonzi. Good.
Is oh gosh, what's the second round defensive the edge guy? Second round last year.
Femi Oladejo.
Yeah, like he's such a question mark still. Wouldn't you say after rookie year he's still a question mark?
I hope he plays literally the entire games, all 3 of the preseason games.
I
Just
agree
play
with that.
all of them.
I agree.
Because the dude, if you look at him physically, he is a monster.
He is.
And not just that, if you listen to him mic'd up clips, you can easily find him on YouTube. That dude's a leader. Like, to me, I'm always like, you don't do anything on the field, but my goodness, you are running this team. Like, you are running the defense.
Because if he was anything, just throw him in this midst. I'm like, he could just be another good rotational player if nothing else. Yeah. And that's what I'm like, man, he's a second round. I hope this guy works out because he just never pans out. That was a bad second round.
If we don't end up going edge in the first round, I think he has a 1-year chance, basically, to prove that he doesn't need to be drafted over, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree with that. But anyway, sorry, I digressed. And I'm about to, go ahead.
Yeah, I was ready to move to the next player. Is that okay? Is it? Are you shaking your head? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, because I'd moved to a different tab, so I wasn't seeing the camera.
Sorry, I was shaking
like
my
you
head.
just ain't gonna answer.
I'm like doing this over here.
Okay, well, here we go. Couple cornerbacks. Josh Williams. I don't want to hear anything about him starting. He's one of those receiving math. Look at the monster. He got so much upside. Josh Williams is at this point he's just maybe a special teams ace. So that's fine and decent depth. I ain't worried about Josh Williams at the moment. First person we're going to talk about, which so many people said this, myself included, Cordell Flott. I'd never heard of the guy. Shame on me. People can say, you don't know ball. Go right on ahead if you want to. Never heard of Cordell Flott in my life. 3-year, $45 million, so he's making about $15 million a year. But people who, from the Giants, like apparently the Giants fans are very upset that he didn't re-sign with them. And that's sometimes can be a good way to figure out if a player's good or not, is seeing the reaction. Just like whenever the whole Steeler Nation said, sayonara, Dan Moore.
Well, that was good.
That's not good, but Giants Nation was like, no, after Flott signed with us.
And I gotta admit, and I'm just gonna say this about Slot and the next Slot.
Like fat, Flott.
Okay, yeah. And our next corner, I don't know them too much. That's the thing. Everyone I listen to likes them, so that's a good thing. But I don't have a high opinion, except the fact that Giants fans didn't want him go, because I did hear that. That's a good sign. Which one's the slot? Because one was more of a slot, one was more the outside.
It was Alontae Taylor who's more in the slot, but they also already, I think, pretty much said that Alontae Taylor was playing on the outside.
Yeah, okay.
But here we were doing the same thing with our receivers that we're doing with our corners. I feel like Flott would be a really good number 2 corner. I think Alontae Taylor would be a really good number 2 corner. So I have a feeling like they're going to be one of those people where they can really lock down sucky people. They'll have a nice little give and take with the good, or with pretty good wide receivers. But I also have a bad feeling that we may really struggle with number 1 receivers, like a Justin Jefferson or whoever. I just got a message that said,
I'll let Saleh do what Saleh does.
My battery might die. Oh, that's 30%. I should be good. Did you hear anything I just said?
Your battery's dying.
Yeah, it says 21 minutes. So I think we should be fine. I'll just keep an eye on it. But if we ever go to a single box, then you know why. All right, moving on. Yeah. So I like the Flott. If we were given grades, we haven't been giving grades up to this point. I'd give it a good B plus maybe. Mostly because again, I didn't know much about him, but the reaction from Giants fans losing him.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, and we're kind of just go ahead and slide right into the next guy because we're kind of talking about him at the same time. The 3-year, $60 million. Going to Alontae Taylor. I know a lot of people, like an Austin Stanley, really wanted this guy well before free agency ever started. We got him. But here's what I think I'll say about both of them. I think it's a good signing. as well, I'll say about both these guys, either one of these guys would have been by far our best cornerback on last year's roster.
I agree with that.
And I think so. Even if our corners just go from awful, unwatchable to average, to me that's a big old fat old plus old.
And I would say if our pass rush / defensive line is as good as I think it is, maybe a average cornerbacks can do the trick because they're not covered for as long.
Agreed. So I'm happy about the pair of corners. I didn't think we would spend big on 2 corners. I wanted us to. That was one of the main needs I had on the team.
We still need bodies in there.
We do. That's why we really might, in day 1 or day 2 of the draft, we may end up going cornerback. So don't be surprised, like if it's like a 3rd round cornerback where it's like solid depth for now, year 2 or 3, we might need him to step into a starting role. But it's fine with me. So I think our cornerback room undoubtedly got a whole heap better. Honestly, that's all the big names there. Besides, I like what we did with our special teams. This is where we'll close out the video. Joey Sly was fine. I think he probably misses too many easy ones, but he also had his hit percentage kind of tainted because Brian Callahan was getting all hot and bothered about the thought of him kicking a 65-yard field goal.
Callahan made Sly's strength a weakness for the Titans.
Correct. Like all he cared about was getting to like our own 48-yard line. If we get like to our own 48-yard line, and then he can kick a luck.
And he went on offense to stop basically. We're to the 48. Let's not make another yard.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I did not get. So Callahan did so much stuff. I'm like, I don't understand. But that was one of them.
Yeah, like Joey Sly, his leg is a weapon. Like you don't even have to get to midfield, and Joey Sly, he can get those big field goals.
Like, thanks for that.
We would have like a 3-minute drive, and we could go down and score a touchdown. Nope, he wanted to get to the 48.
As soon as we got to the midfield, then he's like, "All right, let's just run the ball like to the side where you're getting to the position where Joey Sly wants to kick it from." Where I'm like, "We still have 45 seconds on the clock and 2 timeouts. Why are we giving up the drive?" And then he missed it. I'm like, "What do you expect?"
Yep.
So yeah, so I'm fine. Yeah, terrible coaching, honestly. I'm fine bringing back old Sly boy. And Morgan Cox, obviously, that's a good idea. He's literally has not had a single bad snap since he's been a Tennessee Titan, which is insane. Dude's pushing 40.
Morgan Cox
snapping out there.
We've had those 2 for a while.
But it was Bo Brinkley for forever. And then literally he had one bad snap. His first bad snap of his long career. And like, he's done. Cut him after that year.
Yeah.
And then they brought in Morgan Cox and been good since then.
That's gonna be a pretty good living.
Yeah, has to be. And then you get to eat healthy easily. It's provided for you.
Paid decent.
Yeah, paid decent. Just bend over and snap a ball.
No pressure though. One bad snap, you're out of there.
Ain't that the darn truth? One bad snap, you're out of there, bub. Anyways, last one. Now this is a big improvement. Johnny Hekker was awful.
He was surprising with that.
Yeah, Father Time comes for all of us. 35 was that time for Johnny Hekker. He was disgustingly awful. I remember us even saying this in the preseason. We're like what's Mr. Hekker doing out there? And not only did we replace him, but Tommy Townsend's a top punter.
Yeah, I think special teams could be a strong suit for us.
Yeah, it could be. It could be. Now, I do feel like there will be some 42-yard field goals that Joey Sly will miss for no reason.
Yes.
But he's not like those years that, remember, Ryan Suckup got hurt and we brought in literally like 7 different kickers to replace him, and every other game we were switching kickers and they were all just disgusting.
And Joe Sly, I hear you say this all the time when you talk about somebody. He's fine. But you know what I'm looking for? Us to not draft, but get a kicker that we have for 10 years who's just really good. We haven't had one of those since maybe. How long did we have Ryan Suckup in his good years?
Probably about 4 years, maybe.
Okay, cool. So Rob Baronis, is that the last one we had?
Probably. I honestly feel like NFL teams have moved to a stage where they don't put any long-term stock in a kicker, and those kind of keep extending them for a year, maybe 2 years at most.
You know who I want? The Cowboys kicker. Let's trade
Audrey, or what is his name? I forget. I forget his name.
Super good. Oh, the Jaguars kicker.
Yeah.
That dude just kicks 70-yard field goals and like it's nothing.
Yeah, it's crazy. They did get a lot easier once they got the kicker ball. Yeah. But anyways, to end the show,
I just have to say that's why someone like Sly does not impress me as much because kickers are all kicking longer and longer, and accuracy
Yeah.
to me is so important.
Yeah, I agree with that one. But say because the guys who are really accurate within the 50, they're now really accurate 50 to 55
Yeah.
as well because you know the balls fly better. Rapid round. Favorite signing?
Probably Miles.
John Franklin Myers. Least favorite?
Man, if you're gonna be honest, it's not one I really dislike. There's really not.
For me, I'm going to say Schlotman, just because I have a bad feeling he might end up being our starting center week
That's
one. It's not
true.
his fault.
I think whichever cornerback we put at number one, would probably be my least favorite, and it may not even be fair. For them.
Cornerback or center?
Oh, is that who you said the center?
And yeah, we're having a little issue with the connection here. It might be because my computer is going to die in 15 minutes. But anyways, Schlotman, yeah, is what I said.
Oh yeah,
The center.
yeah. Is he supposed like now? He's just supposed to be our starter.
We're losing service, and I think I might need to just go ahead and end this thing. Can you hear me? What a great production this turned out to be. I think we lost him. You back?
Do you hear me?
All right, this whole production is gone to heck. So we're just gonna go to the sections. What y'all think? So, oh, I hear you laughing. So you must be here. So yeah, let me know who's your favorite pick. Who's your least favorite pick? Who you think is gonna be the most surprising of all the additions and whatnot? Who you most disappointed? Let me know. Your like, subscribe. Coming here from us. We'll come trap. So tighten up and stream. And I'm just gonna buffer because now